typical Yoruba setting, women don't change their names to that of their husbands upon marriage. And this is not a uniquely Yoruba thing. It is an African thing. In Africa, in the true unpolluted African setting, no woman was compelled to start bearing the name of her husband simply because she was married. In fact, in Yoruba land, even the idea of surname is alien to us. We never gave surnames. The practice of giving surnames and women adopting the names of their husbands upon marriage was started by early Yoruba Christians who considered being English more civilized than being Yoruba. They adopted that part of the English culture that made a woman drop her maiden name upon marriage, and that turned the name of a father or an uncle to a family name. So today in Yoruba land, it is now so ridiculous that a person can be bearing Mrs. Taiwo without being a twin. The name Babarimisa, for example, is a name given to a posthumous child. But today we have a lot of Yoruba people who bear Babarimisa even while their fathers are still alive, because that Babarimisa name is not their own actual name but a surname, a family name, which isn't a true Yoruba practice at all. We have been so westernized that we have lost touch with our own unique, ingenious, structured way of giving names. The coming in of these imported religions, you see, has so changed a lot of things about our society. It is now near impossible for a lot of us to have a clear picture of what a proper Yoruba setting was before the coming of the Abrahamic ways of life. Eshu has become Satan, and therefore we now have names like Eshu Pofo. Oluwa is now being used for God in our names. Oba, in a name like Obafemi, for instance, is now being interpreted as God loves me. Whereas in the beginning, none of all these were so. But now, back to the subject of giving surnames. In those days, no child, no Yoruba child is given the name of another person. Even if that person is your father or your grandfather, your name must be unique to you. Your name is about you, the qualities you possess, and the guiding of Akosejaye and the feelings of your parents determines the name given to you specifically. You are never to bear the name of somebody else. A child never bore the name of its father. A woman didn't bear the name of her husband. These are the categories of names we have in Yoruba land. We have Oruko, Oriki, and Orile. Oruko is further divided into two, which are Amutorunwa and Abiso. Amutorunwa is the name you brought by yourself from Orun by virtue of the kind of birth you had or the circumstances that surrounded your birth, while Abiso is the name given to you by your parents depending on how they feel about you or what they wish towards you. Now, not everybody will have an Amutorunwa because not everybody has a special birth, but you must always have an Abiso. Oriki, on the other hand, is an attributive name. Oriki is a pet name. Its intention is to make your Ori swell. It is intended to make you feel good spiritually. The nature of your character or some qualities that your parents have observed in you, even as a baby, determines the kind of Oriki that they will give to you. Names like Agbeke, Ashake, Ajadi, Ayinla, Alao, those are what we call Oriki. It was a norm in the days of yore. Every Yoruba gave Oriki, except the Ijebus. The Ijebus are always different. Now we have Orile. This is the kind of name that acted like a family name. Orile is in fact a family totem. You must have heard people call themselves names such as Ajadi Ogbo, Ayinla Esho, Akanbi Erin, Agbeke Okin, Alani Ekun. All those Esho, Ogbo, Okin, Ekun, Erin, those are what we call Orile. They don't stand on their own. They are always attached to the Oriki. And those Orile names, those totems, are always unique to particular families. No two different families bore the same Orile. So when a person has his own Amutorunwa, Abiso, Oriki, Orile, the person becomes distinct. The arrangement of those names is unique to you. It is just like fingerprints. No two person can bear those names the way you bear them. So under no circumstance was a woman expected to drop a family totem just because she has married into another family. If she does that, then the Yoruba purpose of name giving has been defeated. One of the primary reasons we give meaning is so that you can have your own distinct identity, so that you can mention your name at any place, anywhere, and they will trace you to your family, to your lineage. Now, when you have changed your own family totem to that of another family, how will you mention your name in a place and they will trace you to your father? Your own name is supposed to to reveal everything about you, your own identity, not about your father or your husband. By hearing your name alone, I should be able to know how you were born. For instance, did you come out with your legs first instead of your head? In which case your name would be Ige. Did you come out in a sack, your amniotic sac? In which case your name would be Oke. Did you come out with your umbilical cord twisted around your neck? In which case your name would be Ojo or Aino. And in the case of the Ijebu people, just Aino, because